A major geopolitical realignment is underway as Ankara formally seeks to join the Saudi-Pakistan Defense Alliance. Sources in Islamabad and Riyadh confirm that Turkey has petitioned to become a third pillar in the Security Pact, effectively transforming it into a trilateral bloc. Turkish officials argue that their advanced defense industrial base perfectly complements Saudi financial capital and Pakistan's battle-hardened manpower. If ratified, this would create one of the largest standing military alliances in the Islamic world, unifying three of its most powerful militaries under a shared strategic framework. Negotiations between Islamabad and Khartoum have entered the final phase for a defense package valued at approximately $1.5 billion. The deal involves the supply of K-8 training aircraft, loitering munitions, and air defense batteries to the Sudanese military. Insiders report that the payment structure has been secured through a third-party guarantor, likely a Gulf partner, clearing the main hurdle for execution. This agreement marks a significant expansion of Pakistan's defense footprint in Africa, providing Sudan with critical hardware to stabilize its internal security situation. In a leap for indigenous stealth capabilities, Pakistan and Turkey have signed a Memorandum of Understanding to co-develop radar-absorbent material, RAM, technology. The joint venture aims to produce advanced coatings for the next generation of drones and the TFX fighter program. Engineers from Pakistan's NESCOM and Turkish aerospace industries will collaborate on synthesizing materials that reduce the radar cross-section of aerial platforms. This technology transfer is seen as the missing link for Pakistan's own fifth-generation fighter ambitions, reducing dependency on Western suppliers for stealth coatings. Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, has warned that if the United States launches a military attack against Tehran, Iran would consider U.S. military bases and shipping centers as legitimate targets. He said this in the context of ongoing unrest and rising tensions, stressing that any U.S. strike would be met with retaliation. The comments also extended to Israel as a possible target, signaling a sharp escalation in rhetoric between Iran and Washington. Iran claims it is being pressured by foreign interference and insists it will defend itself if attacked. From Gwadar to Washington, this is Pact Geo Defense Update, Pakistan's voice in the world of defense and geopolitics. Please subscribe. We move now to the Parbi National Counterterrorism Center, where the 13th iteration of the Pakistan-US joint exercise, inspired Gambit 2026, has officially commenced. This year's drills are notably distinct in scope and scale. While previous editions focused on basic infantry tactics, the 2026 syllabus has been overhauled to address next-generation urban warfare. U.S. Central Command and Pakistan Army contingents are simulating scenarios involving drone swarms, chemical biological threats, and hostage recovery in densely populated zones. Defense analysts view this exercise as a quiet reset of military-to-military relations. It signals Washington's recognition that despite the withdrawal from Afghanistan, Pakistan remains an indispensable partner for regional counterterrorism. The drills also facilitate the interoperability of communications systems, allowing both forces to coordinate effectively in potential future joint operations against transnational militant networks like IS-K. In the Middle East, momentum is building behind President Trump's proposed Gaza Peace Council. Diplomatic cables indicate that the initiative is moving from concept to implementation, with a surprising logistic role carved out for Pakistan. The Peace Council aims to establish a temporary, multinational administrative body to oversee reconstruction and aid distribution in Gaza, bypassing traditional political deadlock. Sources suggest that the White House has approached Islamabad to provide logistic support, specifically in the form of medical corps and engineering units to repair critical infrastructure. Pakistan's involvement is viewed as a neutralizing factor acceptable to local populations due to its lack of diplomatic ties with Israel, yet capable of coordinating with Western donors. While Islamabad has not yet formally committed combat troops, The offer to deploy the Army Medical Corps and Engineering Battalions positions Pakistan as a key stabilizing guarantor in the US-led roadmap, a move that could yield significant diplomatic leverage with the new administration in Washington. Across the eastern border, a major reform in the Indian military machine has hit a roadblock. Detailed analysis confirms that the deadline for implementing India's ambitious theatre commands has been pushed back to May 2026. The theaterization plan, intended to unify the Army, Navy, and Air Force under single geographical commanders similar to the US model, faces stiff internal resistance. Reports indicate the Indian Air Force remains concerned about the dilution of its air power assets across multiple commands. This delay is significant. It reveals the friction within India's higher defense management and slows the modernization of its warfighting doctrine. For regional rivals, this suggests that the synergy New Delhi hopes to achieve is still years away from operational reality. The extension to May 2026 gives the current Chief of Defense Staff more time to build consensus, but it also leaves the Indian Armed Forces in a transitional limbo, operating under a hybrid structure that critics argue is ill-suited for a rapid, two-front conflict. A potential breakthrough for Pakistan's aviation exports, the Iraqi Air Force has expressed keen interest in the JF-17 Thunder Block 3. The development comes following a high-level meeting between the Iraqi Air Chief and his Pakistani counterpart in Baghdad. Iraq is urgently looking to diversify its fighter fleet, which currently relies on aging American F-16s and Russian Su-25s, both of which suffer from maintenance issues due to supply chain complications. The JF-17 is being pitched as the pragmatic solution, a modern, multi-role jet with active electronically scanned array, AESA, radar and long-range missile integration, available at a fraction of the cost of Western alternatives. In the North Arabian Sea, the Pakistan Navy has successfully demonstrated its air defense lethality. The service conducted a live-fire test of the FM-90 North ER surface-to-air missile from a frigate, successfully engaging a high-speed aerial drone target. This test is critical for two reasons. First, it validates the enhanced range, ER, variant of the missile, which extends the defensive umbrella of the fleet against anti-ship cruise missiles and fighter jets. That's enough for today. Share your thoughts in comments section, and please answer today's question.